When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. Focus on your goals. Men, if I am willing to push myself to become Mr. Olympia in 2022, then I only have one thing to say to you. Bring your A game.
Here we go again.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So what I'm talking about today is why women should stay in a woman's place. And in today's society, that is a very provocative thing to say. Many women will take that as offensive. What do you mean, a woman's place? And I'm inspired by the live stream actually that I did yesterday. And if you didn't catch it, you can catch it right here. Hopefully it pops up because sometimes it doesn't, but okay, YouTube. Where I talked about women infiltrating and thus ruining the NFL and the NCAA. And so I thought that this was a perfect time because I've really been wanting to speak on this topic for a while. And I thought that this was a perfect time to actually go into it. Women don't belong in male professions. Women don't belong in certain fields that have been dominated by men and have been dominated by men for a reason. And when I say that, I mean sports, especially any type of combat sport or team sport like a basketball or a football, things of that nature. I don't believe that women should ever have been in the military, not as police officers, not as firefighters, not as, rescue and things of that nature. I've never thought that women should be a part of those organizations. Really at all. Let that be the purview of men. And it should be obvious why women shouldn't be part of that. I don't agree with women in combat sports, even when they're fighting other women, because it's such a masculine thing to do, to physically want to fight each other, right? Whether that's boxing or whether that's MMA or whatever that is, it doesn't matter to me if it's women on women fighting. I just find it to be something masculine because it's a combat sport. This is something that men typically do and have always done for sport. They've done it in preparation for battle. They've done it in preparation for being soldiers, going to war, defending their homes, defending their families, defending themselves. Men invented things like martial arts, the martial art, the art of fighting, the art of war, right? Men view it especially in terms of reaching the pinnacle of it as an art form. Okay? The beauty, the visual beauty of Kung Fu, okay? Wushu or Shaolin, that what we like to look at in martial arts movies and things of that nature. Those katas, those movements were perfected by men over generations. The movements mean something. The movements have a specific meaning and where they were derived and why they're utilized the way that they are. So it's an art form, right? The military, formations, strategies, war tactics, battle tactics, all of these things are things that men do. Police, what was a, you know what I'm saying? What do police do? They protect. They have, firearms. They go into police academy training to learn how to subdue and all of these different things that are male dominated because it takes masculine energy. And it not only takes masculine energy, it takes a masculine physiology in order to even do it. Psychologically masculine and biologically a man in order to do it. No one has ever feared an all-female army. That stuff in the Woman King is BS. Did the Dahomey exist? Yes, but they were decimated. They're trying to portray it in this Hollywood movie like these were some cutting edge warriors that were able to take down these male armies. No, they were decimated. Okay? They were wiped out because they were women. Because they were women. Because it didn't matter how fiercely they trained. And it didn't matter how fearless, quote unquote, they were. And you're not a man. And especially when we get into a combat situation, you're not going to best a man. You're not going to do it. It's going to be very rare instance where a woman heads up with similar training as a man. They both have gone through the military. They both have gone through the boot camp. They both have been trained to fight. He gon' whoop her. He gon' get her. And it is what it is. Feminism brainwashed women into believing that barring women out of certain professional fields, certain aspects of society and things of that nature was men trying to have patriarchal control and oppress women just to keep the women underfoot, just to keep the women under control, just to keep a woman in a woman's place. And feminism told women that it was because men thought that women were intellectually inferior and that we were too stupid to actually do these things, that we didn't have the intellect that it took to think about anything other than washing clothes or ironing them or raising children or cooking food or gardening or, cackling on the phone with our girlfriends. And so feminism basically brainwashed women into believing that men were harboring or hoarding something spectacular that they didn't want the women to take part of, because if the women took part in it, then we would automatically outshine the men, and their fragile egos couldn't withstand women outshining them in any way, shape, or form. So therefore, the men kept the women away from certain professions, certain fields, certain endeavors, certain engagements in society because of their fragile egos. So in turn, it tricked women into blindly demanding to enter these male-dominated spaces, to enter, to want to compete, to want to go heads up, the battle of the sexes. Anything you can do, I can do better type of situation. And only through actually going through it did women realize, a lot of women realized, oh no, I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that. Through trial, error, and failure, they don't belong and can't hack it. Now, they're speaking of pride and ego, their women's pride and ego couldn't let them admit that it's because I'm physically inferior to do this, which is why I failed at it. I watched a Caitlin Ohashi. She used to be a gymnast, and that was going to UCLA and all of those types of things. Very popular. And that a gymnast trains since they're little, okay? Little girls. They're training since they're 5 and 6 years old, to do all of these flips and stuff. So they're highly physically conditioned, especially in the peak, and especially if they reach the Olympics and all of this sort of thing, right? And so Caitlin Ohashi, we know she's not some type of fat or not in shape or not healthy girl. We know that. And so they took her. It was like this little show where they get people from athletes from wherever, whatever, to go through like a military obstacle course, that the Marines might go through, that they train through. So, you got the Marines training through their obstacle course, see how fast they can get from the start to the finish of this obstacle course. And again, we know that she's healthy. We know she's athletic, but she struggled, not only because she was short, okay, and this stuff was built for men. It's built for men. And she just struggled through it. She, the guys were like encouraging her because it was all for fun anyways. And she was like, oh, I'm kind of proud of myself because I actually made it through. I didn't think that I was going to do it. She struggled jumping up on the things and stuff like that. And this is a person that jump up on apparatuses all the time, flip up there. Okay, flip up there with no hands and all that kind of stuff. And she really couldn't, she did it or whatever, but you could tell that she struggled through it. And she was like, oh, okay, because this is really, really hard. And it wasn't like she was trying to prove that she could do it because she was a woman. It was just one of them fun things or whatever. But again, my point was that even though she was physically healthy, she didn't have the stamina of a man. Okay, she didn't. It's just not gonna be the same. So when women got tricked into believing that, the men were just trying to oppress them, they began to try to shoehorn their way into all of these various different professions and male-dominated spaces to try to prove a point. Oh, we can do it. We can do it. The fact of the matter is, it was never patriarchal oppression. It was patriarchal protection. The men in the society traditionally always want to keep women and children out of harm's way. And out of harm's way means a couple of things. It means out of physical harm's way, to keep you away from the military. This is rigorous. We go to war. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. Not only are you not physically prepared for the rigors of war, not only the fighting, but the sleepless nights, just being out there having to survive. You on 10 because you watching and you got to do patrol and you got to stay up all night and you got to, y'all, you're not eating real regular. And it's not like being at the house. You got to eat little MREs and you got to eat when you can, really. Okay, sleep when you can. Got to lug 20, 30, 40 pounds worth of equipment around, and you gotta do it. You gotta really do that. And if it's a fight break out, you gotta fight. And you might not make it home in one piece. You might have to come home in a body bag. And that's the reality of it. And nobody can save you from that reality. Men are not only physically equipped to do it, they're psychologically equipped to do this well more than any woman anywhere. So not only away from physical harm, but men were trying to keep women away from the everyday pressure of constantly competing on the world stage at these high levels of competition. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. It's a cutthroat world out there. And men know. Men knew. They know who they are. Men know who they are. They know when they get into situations where they have to be competitive in any way, shape, or form. When I got to be better than the next man. When I got to be smarter than the next man. When I got to be stronger than the next man. When I got to come up with things quicker than the next man. My foresight got to be better. My system order structure got to be better. My problem solving got to be better. All of these sorts of things have to be better than the next man so I can make it. So my family can make it. I got to go out there every day, but I'm built for it. I'm built for the various stresses that come with that. Okay, the psychological stress that go along with that. This is why women being in their feminine space was so important for traditional men. Because I already been out there doing all of this kind of stuff. I don't even want you to know how that feels. I don't even want you as my wife, as my woman, to know, as my daughter, to know how that feels. To have to go out there every day and do this stuff day in and day out with the stress. Okay? Mental stress, physical stress, all of this other type of stuff. This is highly competitive and highly stressful. It'll wear anybody out. I'll be woe out at the end of the day. Okay? That's what he's saying to his family. I'm woe out at the end of the day. Women are biologically too sensitive to maintain that level of competition without breaking down. Women break down quicker than men. We get tired. We just not built for it. We're not built to go out there and selflessly sacrifice every day for our families and for the people that we love. Women are just not built for that. This is why we're not the heads of household. This is why traditionally it has been men, because men can take care of a whole family selflessly. And as long as he's getting the type of reciprocity that he needs, he's not never going to throw that up in nobody's face. Well, you know, I take care of you. You know, I buy this and buy that. Like I told you before, when men get to enumerating it, that means he's not feeling appreciated the way that, and he's not getting the level of appreciation for the sacrifices that he's making. Women don't even have that in it. We're naturally selfish. So because we're naturally selfish like that, we don't even have the capacity to take care of nobody. Maybe kids. And then we get tired of that after a while. Y'all got to do, you know what I'm saying? Figure it out. Because we're women and we're just not equipped to do that selflessly with self-sacrifice every single day. With nary a thanks, nary a, you know what I mean? Not really getting appreciated for it and, you know, all of that type of thing. So it was the women that stripped away the protection of the society of men, the covering of the patriarchy that they don't like, right? Because the men were using the foresight and they understood that women entering into certain parts of society would break them. And it would not only be detrimental to the women themselves, but it would be detrimental to the fabric of the family. The family would erode, which would erode the community, which would erode the fabric of society at large. Men understood that you need to stay in a woman's place. Stay in the home where you're safe. I built a family and then I built a home so that you and my children can be in here safely. I know where you are. I know I got a perimeter that I can defend. Not you all out everywhere trying to be independent. No, because I'm responsible for you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to problem solve for you. I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to procreate with you. Listen, you don't have to do all this stuff. I don't even want you. I need you in your feminine energy. And the only way that you can really do that is if you're not dealing with the world the way I'm dealing with the world. Let me deal with the world like that. You deal with my world. You deal with me. Let me deal with them. You deal with me. And it's an easy setup. Women had it so easy, and feminism tricked you out of it, and you're stupid. Stay in a woman's place. When our men were marching for civil rights and they didn't want the women out there, they wasn't trying to stop the women from being part of the movement, but they knew who they were dealing with. They're going to get the hoes. They're going to get the dog. They're going to get the billy club. They're going to get shot. They're going to get lynched. They're going to get dragged. They're going to get drawn and quartered. And our men knew this. So they're trying to keep you out of the way because they love you. Because they want you around. Because even if he got to die, he wants you safe. It wasn't ever about oppression. It was always about protection. And you just remove the covering like you do all the time. You want to play NFL football, just remove the covering. Why would you want to be somewhere and stand there and get hit like that? Why would you even want to? What's going on in your mind? Huh? I just needed to bring that to everybody's attention today. The other thing that I need to bring to everybody's attention is the petition we have going against Black Lives Matter organization for their theft of more than $90 million of donated funds. So I want to draw everybody's attention to that. The link to it is in the description box. Please go ahead and click that link, sign, share, and contribute to the petition as well. Also sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.